We're back with another episode. We're back with another episode of Britt Says Season 2. And today is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday today? It's Tuesday, and I don't know, I just feel regular. I went to work. Didn't do much. I just feel normal. Oh, I got a new look. Afro puff for good luck. That's what I got my natural hair out today. And I don't know, I just feel regular. No in between, no in the middle. Regular day. Excited about season 2. Mondays are like my blind day because I know I gotta go to work. I gotta start something, go back to craziness. So I usually feel like, if you want to see what my life has been like in between seasons, what my Monday is like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you could go watch In Between Seasons. I'll link it below so you can see what my life is like in between seasons, what I do on a regular day. So when I come here and I'm like, I feel blah, I feel blah, you can see why I feel that way, I guess. So maybe you could catch a vlog and see like, oh, maybe that's why she was feeling that way. So definitely go and check that out. If you listen to the podcast, you would have to go watch me on YouTube. And my YouTube is Britt Says, the way it's spelled, BRITTSAYS. Wait, is my phone? Hello? Hey, Britt, I'm coming over. What? Yeah, I'm coming over. Fine, I'll have the wine. Guess I'm having company. We have company, and it's the non-corporate girls. We have Ayanna and Delaila. So you guys can introduce yourself.
I love her energy. And I'm black on it, so that like bring it up. All right, so hey everyone, I'm Ayanna, this is Delaila. We are the Non-Corporate Girls, and we are a podcast platform that literally bridges the gap over a 9 to 5 and 5 to 9 me.
It sure does. And we hit on topics of just transitioning if you're in a 9 to 5 and want to take your side hustle, full on. We help with that transition, how to prep and plan to do it strategically and smart. But we also encourage people that are in their corporate spaces and are thriving to continue doing so and kind of build a community where they feel encouraged and they want to stay in that space and be supported, feel supported rather.
Yeah, we like to focus our core mission on the 4 C's, which are creativity, cultivation, collaboration, and change. And we feel that this resonates with everyone across the board, whether they are in corporate or non-corporate spaces, which is what we talk about on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. And introduce different people who are in different phases of that journey and what that looks like, so that people could kind of, feel relatable to different people on different parts of their journey. So you're not all on the same page.
And your social media handles?
Yeah, so first of all, we're streaming everywhere you want to be. So Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts,
Stitcher,
Google Play.
Yep.
Check for us, okay? Our social media is popping.
I love their social media.
Right? Shout out to Carla, our social media manager. Follow us on Instagram at Non-Corporate Girls. We are also on Facebook and Twitter.
And LinkedIn.
Which
Ayanna has our LinkedIn.
I didn't even know that.
LinkedIn. We just started. We on LinkedIn. So follow us there. We try to share articles that are relevant to the community.
Things that you need, that we read, and we need to put them on. And also subscribe to our newsletter.
Oh. Yes, www.noncorporategirls.com.
Yes.
That I know. That I visited.
So you got a summer guide. You got a summer guide.
Oh!
Yes, the summer guide gives you the ends of what's happening because, we like to turn it off and have a little bit of fun. Yep. So we have a whole curated list of a playlist to be jamming. So places to go, things to do in the city over the summer. In different major cities, actually.
Right. Yes, their Instagram is definitely popping. I have seen the playlist. I've seen all that. And they ask really dope questions and stuff like that.
We're trying to make it engaging because it's a conversation. Social media should not be one-sided.
Yeah, definitely. I know I've noticed that, and it's like it's thematic. I like the theme. I'll keep getting to everything.
Yes. And just to one caveat, we promote cultivation. That's the whole point of our social media for the most part, hence the questions and things like that. Mm-hmm. We're all about a community. So even when we have events, it's all about our community coming through, showing up, supporting each other.
I love that.
How can we help you?
And then because I saw them, it was like they're trying to bridge the gap between the 9 to 5. I mean, 5 is 9 to 5 and 5 to 9. I'm like, okay, they're working full time and they're trying to figure it out. This is the perfect episode to have them on, which is called Spaceship and Work Ethics. And it's from the song Spaceships by Kanye West. And he just talks about, like he was working in retail. He just tired of his job. He deserves Maybach and all this stuff. So I thought it was just appropriate. And, for every topic, we like to expand our mind. Expand your mind, expand your mind, expand your mind. So in an article on careerintelligence.com titled Unhappy at Work, It Might Be the People, written by Annette Richmond states, being happy or unhappy at work is more than just liking what you do. It has a lot to do with the people you work with. Chances are if you find your boss overbearing or your colleagues annoying, you won't look forward to a day at the office. Even if you love the work, conversely, a boring job will be more enjoyable if you like the people you work with. So
facts.
I could speak to that because my last job, it was a big leap from where I was previously. But I really enjoyed going to work because my coworkers were amazing. I used to always tell Ayanna about them. So it just didn't make, we all understood each other. We had the same gripes and complaints, but we were supportive of each other and kind of it made the work day just fun because we'd be cracking jokes, talking, we actually liked being in each other's presence. Right. So that kind of helped because I feel like everywhere you go, the work is not always going to be yay, hoorah, let's get this work done. But you got to find where are those points where it can make
those highlights.
Mm-hmm. You ever dealt with that too, ever?
Oh God.
Ayanna sounds social a little bit.
I was like, really?
Exactly. I don't really like people like that. But no, the same situation. I think if I could pinpoint a job, a few jobs back, I loved my coworkers. I loved my boss. I loved everything about it. And the work it wasn't boring, but I outgrew the work, but I was comfortable staying because I loved my environment and it was all good. Then eventually you have to go, but
yeah, I dealt with that too, where I love my coworkers and I love the job. The pay wasn't there, and then you kind of want to level up in your career, and that's a funny dynamic too, where you wow, where you get that comfort level, this job is so much fun, but is it progressing me? So you kind of deal with that, and then it's this battle of you move up and you get more issues, more money, more problems. Honestly, that's really, really honestly what happened in my life.
It's true.
So I definitely see that, how you. It's the more you grow, the more problems you have. I went from being associate, supervisor to manager, and the responsibility.
Oh my God, I was just having this conversation because we were talking about being a boss babe and a boss this, and I was I have compassion for bosses because it's one thing to be in charge of yourself, but then to be in charge of other people and their livelihood, be in your any decision you make wrong or a budgeting defect, this is you on the line, possibly making cuts or whatever. So I'm just being a boss is...
It's you have a responsibility as a boss.
It's an obligation.
And you really do.
It's,
I don't know.
It's tough.
Those pressures are real.
When things don't get done, you got to make sure you get done. Because everybody else could go home.
Right.
The associates could really just clock out. And then you could be why are you going home? My time is 9 o'clock. That's the time I leave. When you a boss, you can't say stuff like that.
Right, you have somebody to report to that it mattered, going higher.
So it's not that easy.
It's not that easy. So have you ever had a terrible boss?
I don't have girls, but if I'm
clutch my error.
Please stop. She's
I'll let you start this.
I've had many terrible bosses. I'm I don't even know how they stood in their roles and how people haven't noticed. The only explanation I have is that the employees must have been insecure or not really known better to get out of the situation because having bosses who are stifling or toxic it really impedes on your work. Like you don't want to be there. Like you don't feel like you're being poured into.
And you're not showing up at your 100%.
And you're defensive. And I was having a conversation with Ayanna. It kind of carried with me into positions and roles where I did have amazing people I was working. The PT, we have an episode called
I listened to that too. I was like,
that episode is real.
It's true.
There's many different types of PTSDs, and work related ones are real because you always feel like afraid if you're gonna mess up, afraid if you don't show up in a way that they want you to, because you know you have your own way of doing things. What's your best work may not look like that to your boss, but all those things they should be okay. You shouldn't feel like you're never like that. You can't compensate or like that. You can't deliver. But if someone is making you feel that way, then it's just like you kind of crawl up in a wall. Because now you don't want to do anything.
That's true. And then your boss experience. Why? I don't know.
Why? I mean,
miserable ass.
So and then here's the other thing. Like, I think that bosses should aim to be great leaders, right? And I think that we work in a lot of environments where bosses don't know how to do that. They don't know what that looks like for them.
And that's not one and the same.
And it's not. And that's the thing. Like, they're so confused by that. It's not one and the same. Also, you have to think about the type of boss, their age, etc. Because a lot of older people, you know, stuck in the time, they may not understand what cultivation of your employees are. They're not getting that. Like in their line of work,
we get it to the next.
Yeah, it's not like, what about the growth? What about the
camaraderie? Camaraderie. How do you say that word? Camaraderie. You know, fellowship.
I know what you're talking about.
Camaraderie. I don't know how to say it either. Like,
it's hard. We have accent camaraderie. Yes.
Y'all know.
They know. But I think that that's just been my experience where I feel like bosses confused. Like they think that they're being good leaders and they're not being leaders at all. And because of that, their communication style is all out of whack. Like they don't know how to communicate with their direct reports. They don't know how to communicate with the team and what that looks like. You know, it's not about an I. It's about a we. How can we grow together? And if we're growing together, I need you to pour into me. I need you to help me want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like I came into the door, but how are you going to keep me here? And for me, my experience has been bosses who don't know how to do that, so I leave.
You know how we get down with the millennial behavior. Like,
we be up and at them.
We can't take it.
Look, tolerance level is this big.
You really shouldn't. And that's the thing.
Life is too short.
Too short.
So you had several jobs in your time, in your few time, right? So one thing too with me though that I love also about switching out with jobs, and when I think of a boss, is that I've been in jobs where one boss will tell me I'm really good at this and really bad at that, and then I'll go to a new job and they'll be like, you're really good at this and really bad at that. So also too, I know this for work is like you really got to know your worth and really who you are.
It's a perception.
Because I'm like, you think I'm may suck at or something like communicating. I'll go to the next job and be like, your communication skills are amazing,
right?
But I don't like you don't multitask well. But at my last job, the other lady said I communicate well, but I multitask. Like that's what life is really all about, knowing yourself. Like,
it's perception, though.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but it messes with your head.
I don't know at what point.
I'm telling you,
very early on, is like you have to try to tap into people's greatness. If communication is your weakness, then let's not put you in a aspect of the job where you have to like practice that. Yes, practicing on your own, we want you to build that, but like why not tap into the things that you're already great at, right? And build the team and your strength. I feel like people just want to like pick at something, and it's just kind of counterproductive.
But also like picking at it, but not providing a solution, right? So like outside of like you may not be good in A, but let's highlight B. How about you help me with A too, though? Like, how can we cultivate that? Like, how can you help me be a better worker? Whatever that looks like. It may not be holding my hand, obviously. Like, I'm at work. I need to move on to the things, but don't pick out my weaknesses. Help as a boss, as a team. Help us grow together. And if I can get good at this, we can actually grow together in this.
Right. I agree. And I think that's something even through school, like even. And it's like you said, like a PTSD thing or something. You just start to come to terms with certain things. Like I've really learned that, and I don't know if it's healthy or not. We can discuss this. That you'll never be an A student to nobody. You know that term like in school, like I can't. Like you ever had a teacher like I can't give you an A. Like, I just need you to constantly grow. How long I gotta grow? Like, I've been hearing this forever.
But also,
like,
why can't you give me an A?
Why I can't get an A? Like, I feel like that's what bosses do. They love
they
to
want to give
everything
the compliment.
back. Because they be like, as soon as I give her a compliment, she's gonna get too excited. And it's just like, dang,
on the evaluations, the work evaluations, when they're like, we can't give you 100 points, or we can't give you the whatever.
Why is these up to 100?
You don't get a 5, you get a 4. Why?
But and then it's like everywhere you go, they're gonna do that. So you really and I really just don't get that, and I think that's why it's so important too for us to really know who we are, what we stand for.
Yeah, you have to ground your person. Because if you let people dictate and tell you who you are, then you'll be a sponge everywhere.
They'll be picking you apart.
And then, or you might stay somewhere too for mad long. So you might go to one job and then you go to the second job and be like, yo, people really keep telling me I ain't good. Like, I thought I was good at this. Now I'm not. I'm terrible at this. What am I doing? Like, what is my life becoming?
Like your friend, I don't want to mention her name, but like that she didn't know her self-worth. And she was working with her.
It was her work? Or it was just in general?
I'm laughing at that.
I don't want to
it happens. I believe it. I see it with other people. Like, I
and
really
then
do.
you come across a Ayanna or somebody who's like, wait, because they're seeing someone else get treated wrong. You know, sometimes also as an employee, you have to step in and kind of advocate on somebody's behalf who can't kind of defend themselves because they don't have like that proper skill set or haven't had
or they don't know their worth.
Right, which that was the case.
I'm happy you knew somebody like that. Like, because she laughed. I'm so serious because I could really see how like work could really play mind tricks on you. Like,
because it's a competition, especially when they're over here threatening like, you know, people are gonna lose their jobs. So now it's like survival of the fittest.
Right.
It's like that should not be the work culture that I want to be a part of.
And thinking of like competition, how do you feel like with female culture ever? Like, one thing I really, really wanted to touch base on was like, I feel like we right now there's this big thing going on with like, you know, the amount of money that women make to men and like how there's so much men in top leader roles. But for me, working, I've noticed this weird, like, it's just a thing. I don't know if we're born into it, that women have such catty energy. And I have a strong belief that we block some of our growth. I really do. Just through my career, I've seen how
have you had women bosses?
Yes. And not just even bosses, like even sometimes with coworkers, like females could be really mean. Like even just growing up, I feel like we kind of block that. Because they see that, they go, oh, you see them too? They got problems.
Well,
and then it's just like,
I'm not a therapist or anything, but part of this is generational. I don't know if you growing up, I'm Latina, Puerto Rican and Dominican, but I remember growing up, and although it was seen as like a protective thing, you don't see how that transcends into adulthood until you look back and reflect. So growing up, I would always be told like, a girl's not your friend. Like, she just like stay, keep a distance from people because they're jealous. Like, so that already creates something from young that other women are not here to support you. They're here to drag you down.
Right.
And although your parents are thinking that they're protecting you, like, mind your business, stay out of trouble, what you're causing is a disconnect from me building prosperous relationships with other women who are my peers.
That's true.
And when somebody told me that, because that was not something like I came up with myself, like I overheard like a conversation or was told, and I was like, that makes so much sense. Like, instead of like pitting us against each other, we should be like, it's sisterhood. Look out for your fellow sister. See how you can help her reach out where you can.
And that carries over into like networking and events and us just being entrepreneurs trying to start our own brand. Like, we've come in contact with so many women at different points in our life that they, you know, the idea of collaborating or the idea of lifting each other up, it seems good, but then they do the opposite, right? Because they culturally, they're all about everyone can't have a piece of the pie. So why not? You know, we all have different pies too. So why not? And it's something that is just ingrained, which is why I think for non-corporate girls, one, our dynamic and how we come out to people is very interesting because we're all about collaboration and lifting each other up and supporting each other.
Everybody knows when you build together, greatness comes with that.
And it also takes a village to do anything. So it's really confusing to me how people like separate themselves.
And then females, we are so dope. Like, we could do so a lot. Like,
even the world.
Like in a weird aspect. Like, for me, I remember I was talking with a coworker, right? And then we was talking about like all the female rap artists. If all the female rap artists was to do a concert, do you know how much money that tour would make? Do you know how crazy
they can't get it together?
But they can't get along. But think of that.
I mean, aside from their own egos, society and media tries to create
pin them
separate
too.
Yeah.
So it's just like this weird dynamic between females and work and being at the top, and that's something I definitely feel like needs to really be broken. Once that's broken, because everybody could say, oh yes, I'm a feminist, I'm this, I'm that, but are you really living up to that? Because I've seen, not just me or even other people, I've seen like females do things. I'm like, wow, even like being women of color, like we should not be pinning each other down in the workspace right now. Like we already got so much stuff blocking us. And if you like, it's a lot of things I've seen. I'm like, wow, you really act like that right now.
Exactly. And people code switch. You like this at work, but then you another way amongst your friends.
And you cheat on the girl like that.
It's a
like,
tough.
I think you gotta call it out. I've come to that point.
Like you have to do your part every day.
Yeah, you're right.
You have to do your part.
Like I'm not gonna condone. Like let's say whoever comes and approaches me and speaking about the other, like you shut it down. You don't engage because that's giving them the ammo to like continue and think that's okay. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you gotta check people because nobody's been telling them anything, so they think it's cool, is it right?
Yeah, so that's one thing too. I was like, like, have you ever felt that weird dynamic at work? Well, just, like the female culture, like I feel like it's really I think we are one of our biggest issues. That's one thing with me. Like I always felt like women are one of the biggest issues when it comes to like being at the top. Like I work in fashion retail, and it always shocks me that a man, like I couldn't believe a man was the CEO of Fashion Nova. I don't know why.
Right.
Like it just
and even Pretty Little Things is a man who's in charge of that
Forever
company.
21. Well, he did it with his wife, so it's like half and half. But still, it's like whoa, like it's like really, 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 really crazy, like how things work, and it's just like we could do so much
more if we just unite.
But out of all of that, the biggest hindrance is communication. People don't communicate. Like if one woman has a problem with another woman in the workplace, in the meeting, whatever, just talk about it. Like no one ever addresses anyone. They address everyone else. Mm-hmm. They talk behind everyone's back. No one actually goes to the source. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing. Like if people can stop doing that, then we can actually see some growth.
And if people set their egos aside, because it's like you don't always have to be right.
And it's not always about you.
That's a fact.
I could have just come in to the meeting, have an attitude because I had a bad day. I had my period. I'm tight at my boyfriend.
Like, why are you taking my face seriously? Like, why is this about you?
I've never had like many issues with people in that regard. Mm-hmm. Like it'll be someone that's petty patty because of whatever else they have going on. But like I've never been like in confrontational situations in the workplace. But yeah, I've been witness to like
you know, I will say that like one of my a job a long time back, I actually didn't like my supervisor, and we had like some friction. There was interesting friction.
Do you speak
I set up a meeting, yes, and I was in my young 20s.
A lot of people don't do something. You set up the meeting.
I did set up the meeting because I felt like if I had to report to you and I don't like you, there's a problem. Like we need to figure some shit out. So I set up the meeting. She was open to coming to. Obviously, she's open to coming to. She's my boss. We can't, and I was just like laying it out on the table, like where I think the issue could lie, because I wasn't really sure of the issue.
Right.
We talked it out.
Sometimes it could be just your own shit.
Yeah, because it just felt, it was a weird energy. And I was just like, I can't do this. Now I'm not going to sit across from you every day. So we had a meeting, we talked it out, we both laid it on the table, and we agreed that there was really no issue, and we both came in wrong. We owned that we showed up wrong. And we decided from that day forward we showed up, and then she became one of my best people, my mentor, everything. Like it's a game change. So
question. So you both of you mostly work in a office type environment?
Not really. I work in an agile.
We work for agencies right now.
Yeah, and it's very agile, so it's like literally find a pocket somewhere and like you can set up shop. Like the only time we're in a like office is like we're planning for a meeting. But like it's set up where like there's desk. I don't even know. It's like co-collaborative, but it's like agile. So like you can sit outside the patio if you want to.
Oh, okay.
You know
so you're not stuck at a desk.
You're not stuck at a desk. Like nobody's even assigned to a desk.
Okay, because I heard like in those type of environments too, communication can get sticky. Because once you
Too close to people?
Like, no, not too close. Like when you more like
when you're in a strict
like those like a. I feel like you guys still you work from computer. Like me, I'm a manager in retail, so we constantly have to walk around and be around people. I heard like in the corporate environments or like where you kind of like on the computer, it's weird. The communication gets kind of weird. Like you guys,
it could be because people be stuck to their computers rather than going up. Like not everything needs to be an email. Get up and walk over to someone
or ping them or something.
Yeah, but I think there's certain things because like I can work from home. Yeah, and I go into the office for certain meetings because there's certain things that just don't translate well through an email. And you want to see body language. You want to see people's reaction. You want to connect with them. And I feel like people connection is still important because then you can miss those cues of certain instances where you can avoid a problem before it starts.
Right. So you see how you said sometimes it's just communication. When do you know like my job is toxic? I don't want to do this no more. I hate it here. When is it time you feel like to quit? Because you know, like we was talking about it briefly. Like some people,
when you start bringing your work home, when you start bringing that home and that energy is interfering in your everyday life amongst people that have no idea what you even do, then it's a problem.
That's one. The other one is when you're at work and you're literally not giving yourself 100%. Like you're literally at work. I've been at work giving 0% before. Like that's when you know. Like when we decided to start this podcast, we was at work not giving a full 100%.
I was on Gmail when I should have been doing a report and I gave 0.
Those are two really good times because it is like when you just like don't give if you don't care anymore, I think it's time to go. So what is the best way to quit? I know 100% is people who every day who want to quit their job. I know that for a fact. Yeah. But when is it like how what are one of the best ways you think? I know like saving up money.
Yeah. Then just have the next thing lined up. Because at the end of the day you have bills to pay. Like don't play yourself. Right. Don't try to be this macho person like, oh I'm quitting, I'm out, and now you don't have no food.
Right.
Like,
you need to plan, like whatever that looks like. Like you may not know what your next job is, but you need to kind of get in the lane. Like you need to know this is what I want to do. I didn't want to do A, but I now know I want to do B. What does that look like? How can I make that happen? And to her point, if you can set it up, great. But if you can't, like you got to have a game plan of what that looks like 3 months out, 6 months out, because the money will run out. No matter how much you save, the money will eventually run out.
Life will continue.
And life will continue.
Yo.
Sally Mae still wants their shit. Yep. Like, I mean, Navient, whatever their name is now. So you need to set yourself up.
I agree, especially at a certain age. Because at one point, I did quit a job. And I was like lit. I thought I was it. Like, I had a little bit of money and then... It's real cute being unemployed for a while. Like you start feeling yourself.
But you're the only one that's chilling because all your friends is working, so you don't even got nobody to go out with.
And then, like you said, the bills just kept coming. They was like, they didn't know Brittany was unemployed. They didn't care, honestly. You're like, dang, I know.
Exactly.
Your bills is just kicking you.
And then you're the friend that we got a spot.
Credit, everything.
You're the friend, and also then you can.
What was that? Oh. She found this.
What is that from? Oh, no.
There's just a lot going on.
I don't even know. I was just about to, I don't even know what I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say, and then you become desperate. And then you take a job that you definitely don't want.
And then it becomes a cycle. That was me.
Oh, you got a
like, what? We quit long. First of all,
quitting stories are bad. So when did you quit a job?
Yo, there was one time I walked out and I didn't come back.
I love that. I always wanted to do that.
I just didn't come back. I was like, nah, I am so off.
Y'all really are the non-corporate girls. Like you guys really picked an amazing lane. I love that. So you guys quit your jobs before? You said you walked out of one?
I just walked out and didn't come back.
It was that bad.
We are not saying this is what you did.
Yes,
we're saying this is what she did.
Things happened.
And it was above me. What? I would say that. It was above me. And I was like, no, enough.
I love it.
Oh, and then you quit a job.
I've quit all my jobs. Every single job I've had, I've never been let go. I always leave.
Oh, yeah, I like that. But do you have a job lined up? All the time, not in those cases?
Nope, all the time I definitely didn't have job lined up.
And this is why we giving you the feedback because we're telling you that.
They know.
I've left corporate America 3 times in my life, and I've not had a job lined up when I've left every single time.
Yeah, our corporate is really like for me.
We figured it out.
We figured that. You know why? Because we're born hustlers.
Not everybody got that spunk.
No, everybody don't got that grit.
I love that. And it takes, and a lot of people don't give a lot of credit to people who like, I'm not advocating, don't go and quit your job. Unless you really got to be about a certain type of life to do that. She's about that life. and look, she's doing her thing, she's working, like, you gotta be at a certain level to quit. But I really give credit to people who do that. Like it's empowering
to an extent.
It really is.
And I do want to preface this by saying that, like, you know, me and Delaila, we've been in lots of situations, and we've definitely, in those situations, good or bad, we built up our expertise, right? Mm-hmm. So me leaving a job, like, I'm now freelancing, or like I'm figuring it out because I have lots of skills that can transfer, and I can do stuff with, like, I can be a marketing consultant, which I am. Like, so there are things that I can look to. So it's not like I'm just quitting, but it's definitely a peace of mind when you're somewhere in a toxic environment that's not serving you. And I'm all about not being in environments that don't serve me.
Absolutely.
So how did you know your job? We touched base on it, but how did you know your job was like toxic? Because it could get really, it could get really stressful. Like, I can't explain.
I think there's a different distinction of stressful because it's a lot of work and toxic because the people that work with you are nasty. You get what I'm saying? Because a stressful job, it could be of you just having to learn how to delegate and have that conversation of like, look, this is too much work, the workload. But if it was for that, then you could excel. But when it comes to people treating you nastily or disregarding you, to me, that's more toxic because work is work. There's going to be some highs, some lows. Yeah. You're going to have those high seasons depending, especially in fashion. We know what are those high-end seasons and times where like things get real crazy. But I think it's just more the attitude people have and how people are treated.
And, have you ever heard somebody tell you like, well, no, people don't tell you, but have you ever felt you had an intimidating personality? Have you ever heard about that?
Oh, God.
And I'm like, what, me?
Like they feel like you can't be, like you just have person they're scared to like, not, I don't like the word scared. You know what an intimidating person is? Yes, that's the word. Have you ever dealt with that at work?
Yes. No, not that I like been told.
Yeah,
but I would
just
just
really tell you.
They never really tell you, but people's behavior, because like she said, you don't go to the source. You'll hear it from somebody else. It's like she could have just asked me for that.
Right. It's really weird. Like, and how do you think people could deal with that? Because I've heard of people who have like an intimidating personality at work.
Being a manager, I would say have an open door policy. Why your door is closed? Like that already sets a restriction, and it makes people feel like they shouldn't go and bother you. Or if your door is going to be closed because you are getting work and not to be interrupted, set hours, office hours, where people could come in from this time to this time to like voice any concerns or opinions. Set up lunches. I know in me and my new job, like I'm still getting to learn the team and know people. So there's people that are just like all over the place. You want to set up lunches so that they could put a face to a name. You could build rapport, build relationships. And that kind of, once you start meeting people as people and not as employees, it's different because now it's like I'm approaching you as Ayanna, my friend who happens to be my coworker, rather than I just like connect with you on work related things. Like work is not my entire life.
Right. That's true. And since we talk about so much about like that toxic person at work, because we all are human, we're all naturally human, we're all flawed. We never really know when we're in the wrong, when we're in the right. What a tip or something you would say to a person to let you know you might be that toxic person at work. You might be the problem. Because a lot of people may not realize it. Like, I know one thing is like, I feel like some people really bring whatever they're dealing with outside of work to work. You could just tell. You ever work with somebody that just look mad all the time? I remember I was at work. This girl said, not to me, to one of the other managers, "Why are you upset?" She was like, "I'm not upset." Looked so mad. Nobody knew what she really was. But she was dead serious. She was like, "I'm not upset. I just clocked in." I was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna sleep." Like, I just walked away. I was like, "Yo," she always, because the girl was new. But I'm thinking in my head, she always looked like that. But she didn't know she always looked like that. So she was just confused. Like, I'm like, oh, that's her. That's her personality. But for her to say, you know how weird it is for somebody to be like, why are you upset to somebody you see who always look like that? I was just like, you know what?
One thing I will say is that when it comes to situations like that, especially with people who look like they can have like rusty bitch face or like look stressed, is you, especially if you're with someone new, whatever, you have to kind of make the initiative to like talk to that person. Like going back to everything Delaila said, like you need to, just because someone looks a certain way, like the assumptions are there, take the assumptions out. Like set up something with them, whether it's a one-to-one, whether it's coffee, whether it's lunch, or just like coming over to them and being like, how was your weekend? Like you kind of have to set that sometimes because people don't know how they're showing up. And that's really
like I don't know how my face looks like, you know, to other people. I know like what I perceive myself to like
mad friendly and smiley, and people like, you look like a bitch.
Wow.
That's her. I know what
you're saying.
But you know what I mean.
It's
nice.
Interesting.
She's nice.
I'm serious. People be telling like, I'll be hanging out with somebody and I'm the one that's gonna approach somebody or have the first initial conversation. People are like, you don't even know them, why are you talking to them? And I'm like, why not? People be upset at that. Of making you a friend.
Yeah, and it's weird too. I think that we all need to just like really understand our personality, because some people might not like you just because you're really nice. Some people might like you because
but they want to be that.
Right.
Because they want to be that and they don't know how.
It's really people like that. Like, why is that girl always laughing? Or why is she always happy?
You know, they say jealousy stems from something you're lacking that somebody else has.
And then some people take it to heart to be like, should I be like, I don't know who to be. I'm just like, girl, just be you. Like, everybody breathe.
For everybody.
And also, if you don't know how to be you, that's like separate conversations. You need to have with someone, your therapist, someone. Like,
you need some self-reflection.
You need to dig deep.
Yeah, like, all you can really be is you. Because some people be like, I'm really nice, and like,
everybody's not gonna like you, and that's okay. I'm not here for everybody to like me, and I'm here to get my work done. I don't really want to make friends.
I think you learn that too with growing up. Like, for me, honestly, I'll be honest, probably learned that in college. So it was weird for me to see like people get like really.
You went away for college?
Yeah.
Where?
Buffalo State.
Oh, you went to Buffalo State. I went to Lemoyne, which is in Syracuse.
Oh, I know. I have mad friends who actually lived there that went to Buffalo State.
Yeah. So going away makes a difference. Has to suppose if you're a city,
if you're a local,
if you're a commuter, yeah, that's different.
My sister was
not saying that your points don't matter, but
right.
Your points don't matter.
Yeah. Some people, they really like, they're like, just not here for you. And right. It's okay. Like, somebody else will be. Like, it's weird. Like, and I think that that's something they need to give a class on, even in like high school. Just like work ethics and what you might do. Nobody prepares you for that. Like, nobody. I was telling my friend that, I was like, you in school, you in high school, you in college, wherever you are, you might be the popular girl, you might be the funny girl, you might be the optimistic. Mm-hmm. And then you go to work, and guess what? It's another Brittany, it's another Ayanna, it's another Delaila. They're not you per se,
but they have those same characters.
They have certain character traits. They're not you, but you like, yo, like you go into fashion, you think you're the fashionista of the world. But look at this fashionista.
It's heavy reality checks when you are not a shining star anymore.
Yeah, and people like, especially if you in a school with what? You in a school with just a certain class. So your class will have what? 50,000, let's say. Mm-hmm. The world has, New York City alone has 8 million people in it. Right. So you kind of lose
You gotta be okay with getting slipped on the mud once and again.
Yeah, I've seen people like that. We like, you go to school with, and they thought they was it, and then you get out and you like, yo, she thinks she's it, he thinks she's it. Like, everybody thinks they're it. And I think that's something that really needs to be taught is like, when you get into the work where you're going to be mad different personalities.
Yeah. And you got to be impressionable in your own way. Like,
I was going to say that.
Like, people remember me because of my laughter. Mm-hmm. Or people remember me because I'm the one that always cracks the joke. So it's like, everybody has their thing of what makes you like memorable.
And that's why you need to know who you are. You need to know your worth. You need to know what you bring to the table, because no one is here to tell you that. Like, people can tell you, like, if you compensate, but no one's there to tell you that. You have to know what your value is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Key. Like, I think that's key. Like, you just gotta know who you are. And I love how you said too, be impressionable. You can't find it is gonna come naturally. Like, something is just gonna stick out like a sore thumb that's about you. Right. And I think that a lot of people...
It could be something as simple as your nails.
Yeah, right.
You always get your nails done. I know you because your nails are always together.
That's very true.
You always got a different hairstyle.
Like, little things. So it's just like, you gotta really find
and own it.
But that's the thing, though. I think especially when you're talking about young girls who are coming up and they finish college and things like that, and they get into the world, there's the sense of owning who you are is like a hard concept sometimes for especially younger people to grasp. You know, like I think as adults, we grow into it, you learn it, you probably didn't even know what it was called, but to really own it, especially when you come out of high school and you with your friends, you feel like you're the popular one. You know, it's kind of like not a facade, but like it was kind of just there for you in a way. You know what I mean? You now get into the real world, you kind of have to own that. Like if you were the popular girl, that's who you are. You now need to own this in this world of 8 million people. So how do you do that?
And call it mastering your insecurities.
Yes.
Because when the things that make you insecure are usually what makes you hide.
But if you own,
but it's really what sets you apart. So if you can own that and not like kind of seep in.
That's an episode.
Yes, you definitely need to set yourself apart at work too. And I feel like in school too, you can make a circle. Like, you know how everybody makes their friend circle at work? Right. Yeah, you can probably find the person you like the most, but you have to communicate with everybody. And I think that's why communication goes back. Cause like,
and it goes through like communication, relationships, friendships amongst family is something is not being said or something is being overly said to somebody who doesn't want to receive it.
Yeah.
It's one of two folds.
It's so the North Star communication.
Yeah, just put it out there. The worst you can do is hurt somebody's feelings, but if you're being honest, because you know people say they want to hear the truth, so the truth might hurt, but like you have to own it.
That's the truth too, and that's I think one of the key points. I think that we are accustomed to like picking and choosing that, like in school, you get to pick and choose who you want to communicate with. Then you get older, you can't communicate with somebody you don't want to communicate with. I think that's really what the real tea is. It's like you get really in school, you could really pick and choose who you want to talk to, and the teachers and the principals are all happy. Like everyone's getting along, everybody's happy, nobody's fighting.
Right, but that's not.
We don't have to call any parents, so you're accustomed to like picking and choosing who you want to talk to.
The real challenge is to start speaking to people that you don't have anything in common with.
And it's dope too.
Then you build compassion, right? Because people have different lifestyles, different beliefs, different ways of growing up, and none of it is right or wrong. It's just like, this is what I was taught, so this is how I approach life. That's how you were taught, that's how you approach life. So like we gotta come to a common ground and understanding.
I love that. I really do. Because you will meet so many people. That's one thing I do love about work. Like even on the journey to entrepreneurship, one thing I'll say is I love meeting new people and just hearing new stories and hearing like the craziest things. Like, I just love that would probably be like, well, you always experience that, but I know like even working in retail, you meet so many people, so many stories. You're like, that happened? Things like that go on? Really? What? Like I really love. That's why I just love that.
Or even aspect. For someone's opinion who is like also like it's even because you know people of color in certain parts of America. The experiences with us are very limited. So for you to have a perception from just that one encounter, it's like that's all you think of all of us. So it's a teaching moment even. Because it's like, we're not all that way. That's not even in the best form that it was like, that you received it in. So it kind of gives you a moment to like, not check somebody, but like really expand them.
Yeah.
In their mind. For sure.
That's true. That's true. So what are the top 3 ways you think to stay sane at work? Just because of going through it all, like you said, you might not be able to quit. Or you can, or you might not be able to communicate with this person at work. What's the 3 top tips? If you was like, look, you want to make it through the day? This is it. Your 3 top. You could go first.
Well, the first, for me, because it's been a long day. For me, I listen to music. I love listening to music or podcasts like Non-Corporate Girls at work. Whenever there's down periods and I'm working, that helps me just stay grounded and be in the zone. I also practice a lot of mindfulness meditation. So just taking deep breaths keep me sane at work. Like especially if I had back-to-back. Like today I had 7 meetings back-to-back and missed lunch, couldn't eat it. Took a couple of breaths, chilled out. Life goes on. it's all good. Like, you know, like you have to kind of talk to yourself because you get so caught up in what everybody else's thing is. And like, damn, I had all this to do, there's all this stuff to do. But like, I just need a moment for me. So those are 2 things that I do at work. And making sure that I'm not being a worker bee. Like making sure I'm not constantly chained to my desk. Not that our environments are a little different, so it's not like we have to be, but making sure I'm actually like talking to my coworkers and chilling and taking breaks and stepping away, because we get so tunnel vision, especially during 9-to-5 jobs, that there's no breathing. And I need to breathe. You have to like smell the fresh air a little bit. So that's what I did.
Transition, because mine was gonna be like, take your lunch break, like get away from that. Take a walk.
3 top tips.
I know.
I was gonna say that.
I judge people who don't take their lunch break. Take a walk, like go outside. Sometimes being confined to a space for so long, like there's something to be said of just walking outside, getting like a fresher breath of air, and then coming back and like being able to actually approach your work and be more productive. Another thing I would say is like call somebody that you haven't spoken to in a while and like touch base with them, even if it's 5 minutes. Pick who your person is. Sometimes you need a pep talk from them, so they could get you back into the game. Be like, no, you're that. You're
that bitch,
right? Like you're the shit. Don't let nobody let you know otherwise. Like, so have somebody that's your person and give them a call if you need to. And then lastly, I would say, take a mental health day. Don't go to work. Like, take off if you need to. If you feel that burnt out, I'm not saying call out every day and not show up, but like if you need that day, honestly, like don't come into work.
And that's what it's there for.
That's true. And I think I love
taking days off.
I love the break one. Like I had to learn that, and I think everybody has to learn that. When you take a break and you come back, you feel a little bit better.
Yes,
it's
inevitable.
Yes. It's something that happens with your endorphins. It's like literally scientifically something helps to trigger a more positive like reaction. So.
And that's the thing I think too. A lot of people don't take their breaks. Like I used to do it too. Like
eating.
I'm gonna just go home. I'm just go home. Like I'm gonna be good. I'm just eat when I get home. Like no, take a break. It's not even about eating. Sometimes it's just like you need to sit down,
breathe,
and breathe.
Yes.
Like just
you
breathe.
just need a
no
moment.
People connection.
Just a moment.
Just take it in.
In my job, we have wellness spaces, so like you can do exercise, you can do a meditation. It's not for working, it's not for eating. You go in there to like just
have
be
your
and breathe.
And stop doing work when you get home. Please stop.
So that's, if we can add like a collective another tip. Know your boundaries. Because that's the thing, that's the thing that gets people so caught up doing work at home when you don't have to.
But then it goes back to communication. Because I was logged on during the weekend working Essence Fest, but that was spoken of. This is not an everyday thing. This is not a weekend. This was a one-off event. I'm willing to give these 3 hours. But after these 3 hours, I'm taking my weekend back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just being communicative of what you need, because people are not going to care what you need. You got to let them know. And you have to train people how to treat you.
Yes. Knowing your boundaries.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like I remember I had to hire for work. And I'm like, why I'm doing this off the clock? Like I'm going to take 30 minutes out of my shift and I'm going to look through Indeed for hire. Exactly. Like, why I have to do that when I get home?
No, like if you want this done, it's gonna be on work time.
Yeah, like and it's really cutting into your time, and then when you have free time at home, you start overdoing stuff because you at home. You know how like you're at home on your leisure. You might at work you put a cap on things because you gotta go home eventually. Some people don't really know how to set that boundary.
Right.
So
and that's what I'm saying. I have compassion towards bosses because sometimes they have more of the extra late nights. Or the deadlines, like they're more piled up with work. So it's just like even from themselves, they need to find.
They gotta take that time
to check out.
Yeah.
Right. And I think just doing like random like things or finding like a hobby or not even a hobby or like a side hustle, like you said. Like I genuinely
enjoy that. You don't need to make money. Yeah.
Yeah, like I genuinely enjoy doing this. Like it's something I enjoy doing. If I was to do it free, I would still do it. So I think like finding something that really keeps you grounded where you like, I got this, if anything.
Right. Like, that it comes so easily to you and not like a second thought.
Right. I think that's key. Like, just find something. It's going to happen. It's hard to find that niche, But it's gonna happen when it
you have to try different things. You don't know what you don't like unless you don't give it a chance.
And you have to also be open to it. There's so many people who like, I want to like leave my job and do this. What do you like to do? You know what I'm saying? Like you need to do some self-reflection into what your hobbies and your passions are, and start cultivating that. Like that's where these things grow from. You know what I mean? People just get so stuck on like, I go to work, I come home. Like,
or people get stuck in the type of job or what's cool and what's trending. Everybody want to be a creator. Everybody want to be this. Like,
everybody's a content strategist.
Yeah. Like, is that really what you want to do?
Right.
Can you really do that? Actually?
Yeah.
Because like some people be saying they can do certain stuff and then you can't do it. You're trying to learn.
Don't understand the analytic, but want to do all this social media.
Yeah, like I do this, I do that. I'm like, oh, they be showing you that. Like,
people fraudulent.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't be on the side because you will get called out.
Especially
and you get put in a position where you're gonna get your skill set tested and you're gonna fail.
Especially with YouTube, because YouTube will try to teach you everything and you don't even know the half.
And that's not to hinder you to not try. But don't become an expert after 5 hours.
Yeah, and don't say that you are. Build on your
That was right. That was right.
Yeah, just learn it first and then see what you can do. And then see what you can do.
No, but she right though. Cause like you know, we go to events and someone's like, I'm a stylist, and you're like, well, who have you styled? Like, but if your style don't look cute, and you have a style you with, I can't call you a stylist. I'm not quite sure.
I am done and through.
I'm with her.
You need to be stopped. No, you need to be stopped. You just drag me.
She said no, because the way some people start knowing it really is style, I don't even want to get into that.
I know, but I'm just saying because you work at fashion designer, but like y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know those people that be like, I'm a stylist.
Yo, what are you styling your dolls? Yo, we're not doing this. What's today? It's like on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was so good having the non-corporate girls, Ayanna and Delaila.
Yeah,
Please go check out the podcast. I had listened to a couple episodes. I was telling them beforehand. It's really good.
Wait, which one's one of your favorites?
I told her I listened to the. I knew somebody I went to school with. I listened to that one. I listened to the PTSD one like right beforehand. I'm like, oh, they really gonna be on point with this topic because they kind of play.
Yeah,
they kind of tied two and two together. We didn't dig as deep as you guys did, too deep, but yeah,
we touched on it. Oh, you know Fatu. Shout out to Fatu.
And I love the Instagram page though. I definitely do.
Make sure you guys follow us again at Non-Corporate Girls.
Yes, it really has like dope tips and just like regular
and actual content.
Stuff.
Like we're not just posting.
It's content.
It's very intentional. Each month we have a campaign. Participate.
And sign up for our newsletter, www.noncorporategirls.com.
Yes, they got a lot of stuff going on. He's telling me, giving me a little deep. So stay in tune. And I'm just so happy. Thank you guys for now. I'm always very happy to take them. I am. So
I would not miss this.
Yeah. So thank you. And I will see you guys